I was there
comments.
too. I know you made some
It's
comments.
it was freaking it was hilarious. I see this thing as very entertaining in the way that it just engage with other YouTubers. So
Yeah, yeah.
I try to stay outside the
No, you
circle
do
as
not.
much as
You
I
make
can.
comments today. You don't stay outside. You made numerous comments because I was listening to him. He was
Yeah,
talking to him.
this shit's fucking hilarious, my guy. There's nothing else I can say about it, man. Do I think that he goes a little too far?
Turn your
Absolutely.
phone sideways.
But
Yeah.
also I
My
feel
bad.
like, they set themselves up for that. When you start putting your personal life on YouTube and all that stuff, you open up a can of worms
Did I
that you
miss something?
wish that you just didn't do,
Nah. We're just
So
going through comments. 18 went over some news articles that he dug up, and I see you figured out how to broadcast to your channel.
Oh yeah. I had to um with the go to phone my wife or whatever. I had to go look at the study guide that 18 sent me, and I finally figured it out.
The study guide 18 sent you. I can only imagine what the study guide is.
that's real
It was actually
simple. Two
fairly simple. It was me
flashcards.
that was complicated.
It's just two flashcards. That's it.
Two
Right.
flashcards. So Newman says Jim S. to Fly Rabbit. Newman, I know you don't know me that well or whatever, but nobody has ever called me Jim. Jim is kind of an old man's name. Now I know I'm an old man, but I've never been called Jim in my life.
Rightfully
And
so.
if you hollered at me, "Hey Jim," out in the hallway or something, I wouldn't even turn my head because nobody's ever called me that. It's just one of those names I've never taken. So nothing bad about it. So Michael Pierre says Opti Idle is unnecessary. LOL. It only puts engine idle wires on your truck. You know,
Facts.
I've
I
never thought
agree.
of that before. I've never thought of that before, but I bet it puts engine hours on my truck too when it starts up.
Engine hours. I'm sitting at a truck. There's another international that's parked right next to me, and it has
Yep.
not shut off for this ever since I done parked there. Since I know they left and came back, they had a dog in the truck or whatever, and that lady has not gotten out of that truck since yesterday afternoon, and that truck has not stopped idling this whole time.
The dog hasn't been out at all.
No. I
Oh
have not seen the dog.
God, man.
And trust me, I have my windows like right here, and I tried to open it up so I didn't have to idle, let some of that cool air in, and I just couldn't deal with the damn noise. The reefer unit on the other side is more quiet than this damn truck, so it's like,
Hmm.
that's what
So
helps.
I know you guys watch Country's videos, and I called him today, and he always asks for suggestions, and I gave him a suggestion. He's always asking, what can he put in the merch store, and I gave him probably one of the best. At least I thought it was a good idea. He kind of agreed with me too. But since I'm bringing a dog on the truck with me, what are you doing? Vaping? Like a Viper Ghost or something back there with the
You
shit
are
coming out your
so
nose.
it's so easy to distract you. It's so easy to piss you off. It's fucking
Well, you
cheap.
do silly shit like that, man. It destroys me, man. But anyway, I gave him the suggestion to come up with like little dog sweaters and stuff, shirts and sweaters. I thought that would be kind of an interesting thing. If you're still on here, country, say hey again
Hmm.
because I said that.
Keychain, key tags. Can't go wrong with them.
Oh wow!
Put a bunch of them on his shop, and he'll
So
sell quite a few.
Yeah, I thought
so
about
I
doing
got
some
you guys
t-shirts
on.
or something myself.
Well, damn it! I'm trying something new here. I got you guys on full screen. I wanted to, but I can't read the comments if I have it on full screen. That sucks. Interesting. I'm playing around with this stuff a little bit too as we go since we've already fucked up the shit show for the night. I'm glad we got you on though.
Uh, what messed up? It
20,
just earned his name. That's all.
28 hours into a reset, the truck has only run for 2 hours to charge the batteries.
Hmm.
Wow.
I've only started my truck with probably twice, an hour each, give or take, and that's it.
So now that it's getting colder and stuff, I'll do a 10-hour reset. My truck won't even start. Won't even won't even have to start up. And I'll still have almost a full charge too.
Mm-hmm.
Dude got the mic and everything. Talking
Damn
about you.
right, Lou. Got the whole setup in here, man. Got the audio mix and everything, buddy. Whole
I
setup.
need to get on his level. He
Yeah,
probably got a ring
Lou,
light in there and everything.
Well,
Lou,
it's not necessarily a ring light, but I do have a light in front of sitting on top.
I can tell the way
Right.
how clear your picture looks.
Yeah, right.
Lou,
I'm
just
not
so
even
you
using
know,
the camera.
Lou, just so
Go
you know,
ahead.
18 is the only YouTuber. Yeah, 18 is the only YouTuber that has multi-dollar equipment and puts out a video about once every 6 months. He thinks he's hired Stern, but he doesn't want to go on YouTube.
I put out
Except for my
quality
lives.
content, man. Quality content.
It takes.
But I will
I
say,
know,
and
just
I
like,
got
like you're making a movie.
like I usually use my camera. I decided against it tonight.
Your shit makes all
At least
kinds of
what I
noises
usually-
too. What the hell was that?
Oh, I just touched something, sensitive.
That sounded like a
bit. But
tooting
I
fork is
usually
what it
use
sounded
this
like.
camera when I'm doing my live streams, but I decided against it tonight because I just didn't feel like, doing all that setup. So I just got a GoPro, and I'm kind of regretting it because I don't like all this wide angle. You just see everything in the truck. It's pretty too wide for me, but it's nice.
So Right Way Truck says, I don't have OptiIdle, APU, or bunk heater on my International. He only idles when necessary.
Right Way
The
to
only
truck.
time-
Me and you is in the same boat. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing.
The only
All
time
I
that
got
I
is a
ever,
bunk heater.
I don't even
time
got
I
the
ever-
bunk heater, man.
the only time I ever idle my truck is if with you know just as well as I do with the Euro truck. If it's too hot out, they just don't. It doesn't produce enough air.
Mm-hmm. Crack them windows down. Just open it all up.
Right.
I do plan on getting an APU though, because I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
will
gonna
by
go,
summertime.
I'm not going through this during the summer. I'm sorry, bro. It's
Not
not
at all.
happening.
So you definitely go for quality and not quantity. 18, that's for sure. He
I
puts
agree
out good
with you,
videos,
buddy.
man. I just watched your latest video today. Actually, for some reason, I didn't get the notification. You put a new one out about 4 or 5 days ago.
Mm.
I didn't know you were having problems with your fifth wheel.
Well, like I said, I have I see the thing about it with my
And
videos.
Nap Nap is garbage, man. How do you like that shit? Ugh.
First of all, let me finish what I gotta say. Then I'm about to get on you about this NAF NAF, because you was not gonna come at NAF NAF no kind of way. Like I was saying, the reason why I don't just push out content like everybody else, just random stuff, is because I at least want to at least show at least one instance of something that you guys can learn from, at the very least, something relating to the truck. I just don't want to just put out just, hey, I'm at the Loves for the weekend doing this and that and just, rambling on and on and on. I would like to at least do some kind of informative content. So that's the reason why I don't post all that much. I ain't got shit to fix. I ain't got nothing to post. So that's just pretty much it. So, and leave NAF NAFs alone. It's the best in the biz. It's a little pricey, but it's a lot healthier than the other options that we usually get at the truck stop. So every time I get a chance to get NAF NAF, I definitely get it. And I know my heart appreciates it a little bit more. So NAF NAF is pretty delicious. It's pretty good. So
Let me read these couple comments here. Got a few up. Life with Lou says he's about to get like you, so I guess he's wanting more microphone and camera equipment. James G says some drivers out here would need a wide angle lens. LOL. Yeah, I agree with you there. There are a lot of big truck guys out here. How y'all keep your accessories going without being crunk?
Well, I got a 3,000 watt inverter. That's why I have everything plugged into. I'm not even sure.
Watt.
I'm not sure how good these batteries are, but they're definitely needing changing. Reason why my audio sounds so good is because I'm using this thing right here. This is why I got all my audio is plugged in through this little system right here. Plugged all that up together in the laptop and let it work.
So the right way to truck says, I plan on getting an APU and a bunk heater.
Hey, speaking of the
He
APU
says-
and the bunk heaters, have anybody ever heard of Dale's APU? I know it's a cheaper option instead of getting like a
Springfield.
brand new Thermo King or anything like that. They got 2 locations, one in Illinois and one in Arkansas, I believe. And
Springfield,
they
Missouri.
Missouri and Arkansas.
Springfield. Yeah.
Yeah, so they do got pretty good refurbished APUs, and that's something I'm definitely gonna be checking out pretty soon, before summertime. So
You know what they do is they buy the old APUs off of Prime that they take off their trucks. Like the
Mhm.
APU was taken off your trunk, and they rebuild them, and that's how they sell them. That's exactly
yeah,
what they
and
do.
I've heard nothing negative about the APUs that they rebuilt or put on your trucks as well too. So, or the service from them.
So Green APU has a good thing too. They only charge like $5,000. Did you know that for rebuilt ones? Or I'm sorry,
Uh,
used ones. Crap. I'm sorry.
I know Dale
$5,000,
sells green
$49.95.
APUs as well too. Dale sells green APUs as well too. So
So Key says he does create high quality content. It's just few and far between. I only idle if my HVAC needs to recharge.
smart.
It makes sense, but answer this.
He was
what
talking
do
about
we
the
answer?
comment from earlier.
Okay. Oh, you guys with Mercer? Nope, I'm at F2F. Stevens with Mercer, and 18 is at Landstar. 3 different companies, but all kind of doing the same thing.
More or less.
More or less. Well,
Right way
Landstar
to
and Mercer are pretty much the same.
Yeah, but you get that. You know what? Technically, you could get paid every day after you drop your loads at Landstar, same way that Mercer does. It's just a whole different. You know what I'm talking about, Steven. I don't know if you've done it before. The extra when you get your fuel and then you add your 30% on top of that, and then you can just draw that out when you're done with your load.
Oh, I
You
didn't
ever
know they
done-
did that. I was getting
Mhm.
paid weekly when I was there. It must be something they just started.
I'm not sure. Last time I was here, I was the driver, so I didn't have access to that. But yeah, you can advance yourself and deposit that stuff into your account, and then whatever's left over, all your fees and whatnot, they'll take out, and whatever left over, you get deposit that into your account. So
Oh yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. They do the same thing Mercer does with their fuel. Like I can advance up to $400 to go pick up the load. Then once I depart from the shipper, I can advance the rest of the load up to half of it. Then once I deliver the load, I get paid the other half. Sometimes that same day if I deliver it early enough. If not, it usually have it by the next morning or the next day.
Okay.
So it's pretty convenient.
So the right way to truck says he's thinking about getting a green APU out of PA. Forever Unboxing deal quoted him for used green APU for $9,000 installed.
Like I said, you can get them from Dale's, and they got some others, other authorized shops that you can get them installed as well too. The green APU, so you don't have to go to their shop in Pennsylvania. You can just go to any one of their authorized dealers and get that installed as well too. So, and it's a good price too compared to what Thermo King's, like 18,000 nowadays. Carrier, same price. You can save half of that and still enjoy the same comforts. I mean, why not, right?
Yep. What's up there, Chris? So here's a question for you, Steven. You like Mercer better, Steven, or about the same or just different?
I mean the biggest selling point, like I tell anybody, the biggest selling point to Mercer is that pay every day thing. That's the biggest selling point they have. Other than that, Mercer and Landstar are honestly the same. I never worked with Landstar on the flatbed side, so I don't know where their lanes were, but it's a lot of the same. My percentage is higher, I make 75% at Mercer versus I was making 65 at Landstar. So I make a higher percentage, but I guess that's because I'm doing flatbed and I'm leasing the trailer, so maybe that's the difference. And
If
then
you
at
was here
Landstar,
at Landstar, you would have got a flatbed is higher than dry van. If you had your
right,
own trailer, then then they add a couple extra percentage on top of that too. So
true. Yeah, and because I was making what 65% at Landstar, but you didn't have to pay a trailer rental fee.
hmm
Versus at Mercer, you're gonna if you did van, you will have to pay the trailer rental fee, but you're also still making 75%. But if you're
flatbed
doing
over here.
flatbed isn't necessarily a trailer rental fee. Flatbed is a leasing fee. You're leasing the trailer. So in 2 years, I'll own this trailer. It'll be mine. Versus in 2 years, if I had a dry van, I'd never own it. It would never belong to me.
Yeah, dry vans over here are essentially built into your 35%. So that's why they say
Right.
you don't have any trailer fee. Flatbeds, you do have to pay a weekly rental fee at Landstar to use their flatbed. You can bring your own, but they do charge you to use their flatbed.
All right. So Rig Pig says, "Hey guys, great show. Thank you," with the explanation point and a question mark. So Rig Pig, we were, and I'm pretty sure that I saw your comments today on Narc Show. What did you think of Narc Show today? That was it's pretty good, wasn't it? So Newman says, also Go Green uses Kubota parts. Now I didn't know that.
Makes it a whole lot easier for you to go to just any one of these stores and just get the parts, like O'Reilly's or a small parts store. You can get the filters and all that stuff for a whole lot cheaper and, swap them out and stuff too. So
actually a good idea. So plans to get mine out of Texas for 5.5 for a used green APU by summertime. Okay.
Yeah, what's the name of the place you get it from? Give us the info.
So the right way to trunk says Newman Attack, do they install bunk heaters too? Newman Attack right way, they will, but they are far cheaper and easier to install. Michael Pierre says, I would go to Landstar if it didn't require me to have a hazmat on my license. Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's another big difference. Mercer doesn't require it. Mercer would rather you have your TWIC card than your hazmat. But I have both, but Mercer would rather you have your TWIC card. But it's not a requirement. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you good. With the hazmat situation, I think a lot of people, it's good to have it, but you don't have to use it when you get over here. It's just they just require you to have one and maintain one, but they're not going to force you to any hazmat loads. If that's not your prerogative, it's just not. It just isn't. But it the way I see it is, okay, it's just another endorsement. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. But if you have a great paying load and it just happened to be a hazmat load, and you don't have a hazmat certification on there, then what could have been. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Currently, right now, I am sitting on a hazmat load that's paying almost $3 a mile for it. So
yeah, that hazmat loads pay good.
Yeah, it's not that bad either. So,
all right. So Keith is pointing this towards you. Obviously, says, "Welcome to you have activated Landstar HR at Life on 18 Wheels is here to assist you." I got news for you, Keith. He's definitely. I can honestly tell you that 18 really doesn't recruit. I've given him several offers on some certain things, and I don't really want to go into a whole lot of details, but he is not a recruiter, nor does he want to be a recruiter. Now, if somebody asks him a question, he's going to answer it and help them out, but that's not 18. That's not 18 at all. I can promise you and swear to you that he's definitely not jumping in the coach and what's his name show.
Yeah, I'm definitely not here to sell you a NACO. I'm just gonna give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. That way you can make the choice for yourself. And you can't come back and tell me that I helped you make a choice you didn't like. That's just what it is.
I will tell you though, Keith, that and start doing more recruiting again. I didn't want to do a whole lot of recruiting until I made sure where I was going to be at. I wanted to make sure things were okay. And quite frankly, I wanted to make sure that people than anything. I didn't want to be a Coach and Cooper type thing or anybody else. So Rig Pig says, huh? I don't follow NARC. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought that I saw you in there. Newman, Green APU and Go Green are different companies. Huh, I did not know that. I know Green. I don't know Go Green.
Yeah, I never heard of Go Green. I might be looking that up later as well too.
It might be where the confusion is between all this, because the one I know about is Green APU. They were the ones at the truck show, and they're the ones I get emails from all the time. So right. Josh says, Fly Rabbit, your show with Poppy the other night was awesome. Hey, put out good information. Well, I got news for you, Josh. I'm pretty sure that me and Poppy are going to be doing a show again, probably on Thursday nights, now that he's over here at F2F.
I was kind of sad that show ended early, man.
We're going to work our details out, and we're going to get things. Go ahead.
You keep breaking up, so I'm not sure whether you're breaking up or you're pausing.
Yeah, because I'm hearing that too.
Because I'm starting to talk, and I'm not trying to cut you off or anything, but your thing keeps freezing every second. So
must be the freaking internet again tonight.
There he goes again.
Yep. Yeah, I'm noticing it too. So it's not just 18. I'm hearing it too.
Right.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, but I am so mad that show ended so damn early because you were having all that issues, man. I was gonna be like, yo, just if you gotta cut off, you cut off and let Poppy go on with the rumbling, because that was my entertainment for the evening, man. I'm telling you, if Pop put on a good show, he'll put on a good show. You know what I'm saying? I like listening.
We're gonna do another one. We're gonna do another one. So Chris says he had. Where should I be looking for loads to utilize the fucking thing? That's a good question.
Military bases, Port Authority, rail yards.
Yeah, loads near Panama City, Mobile, Alabama, Tampa.
All them places. Yeah.
Savannah,
anywhere that has a base, a military base, would pretty much
anywhere with some water nearby. Basically.
Yeah. So, country, we're still here live. I was just talking about the suggestion I made to you about your merch store today with the little dog sweaters. We were talking about that earlier. He says, I think really only at the ports, Chris. That's what we were just talking about. Go Green APU are out of Pennsylvania, and they do refurbish APU for $5,000. Green APU is like $15,000. Okay.
So is that $5,000 just for the APU, or does that cover the installation too?
Yeah,
I think he got that mixed up. Green APU is the one that sell them for $5,000 that are refurbished. Because I get the emails all the time from Green APU for $5,000 APUs. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Green APU. Chris, nowhere. Ports suck. Full stop. Most ports require a TWIC, Chris.
Yeah, they said ports, military bases, airports. You know, those type of loads. Usually, you require a TWIC card. So,
I just picked up from an airport last week when I was in Pensacola. I picked up from the airport there.
I'm thinking about getting. I don't have a TWIC card, but I'm thinking about getting one because it sounds like a sound investment. But then also, I do carry on the truck, which most of these places don't require, or it's like a big no-no. So I'm not sure if I want to give up that to just the ports either. So I don't know.
You know, speaking of the TWIC card, I mean, I don't know if you guys not, but on the load boards and stuff, they actually charge you like $250 on some of these loads if you don't have a TWIC card because they got to have an escort go around with you at a lot of
Escort
the
fee.
ports.
Yep. Gotta pay that
It's crazy,
escort.
man.
Yep, that was one
You're
of the main
welcome,
reasons
Chris.
I got them. Because I was doing a lot of loads with Landstar where I was hitting the ports a lot. Because like I said, living in Pensacola, I got Mobile, Alabama on one side and I got Panama City on the other side. So I was hitting ports a lot, so it made sense. It's what, 125, it takes 5 years to expire. That's a pretty good investment.
How many times have you actually, either one of you guys, used your hazmat?
I'm using it right now. I used
You're
it
on
already.
a hazmat
I already
load
used
right
it twice. I already twice this week.
What'd
I
you
was
haul?
about to use mine about 3 weeks ago, but the load ended up getting rescheduled.
Okay. What'd you do? What'd you haul? 18?
I hauled some shit. I don't remember, chemicals in a container. I needed.
So,
I
let
had
me ask you this: was the
I had
money
to use
better?
my
at all?
tankers. I had to use my tankers as well too. So that came out of Baytown going to like where did I go? Tennessee. So
Does the money pay better when you have that? I mean a
well,
lot better, not just $100.
no, not a lot. It's not a lot. It's not like how it used to be, man. Like
Okay.
they said, with everything with rates right now, it just sucks. But it was the better paying load than everything else that was out there. So I can't really complain that much about it, you know.
Gotcha. Newman Attack says airports are good, ports suck. He's laughing about it. So, Three Rigs and Company, you're at F2F. Get you an ink pen here in just a minute. I'll put my phone number on the screen. You can write it down and you can give me a ring anytime you want to. Matter of fact, I'll be driving in the morning for quite a while. You can call me in the morning if you want. So Newman Attack says, I used to pick up bananas at the port in Wilmington and paper from the port in Philly. I'd rather teabag a bear trap. Ain't that the truth?
Sounds painful.
That does sound painful.
There you go. There's my phone number so you can write it down. I'll leave it up for a minute and we'll go back to the comments. So, Steven, go ahead and you do some talking, man. Me and 18's been doing a lot of talking here. How was your week?
Interesting. I after I delivered that load to New Hampshire, that giant AC unit I had, I'm currently on like a 3-stop load. I had to pick it up in Philadelphia. I have a stop in West Columbia, South Carolina in the morning. Then I have a stop in Macon and a stop in Kissimmee, Florida. So the interesting part about all that was, so Friday, after I picked up my load, I picked up these giant balers and trash compactors in Philadelphia. And I go over to this parking lot and I saw the police there. So I went to go ask him, hey, can I park here? He was like, yeah, I don't mind. But he was like, find a security guard and ask them. Just, he was like, because this ain't my property. So I found a security guard. I asked them. I said, hey, can I park here? I just need to sit here for 4 hours till I get my hours back. They're like, yeah, cool, no problem. So I go to sleep. 2 hours later, I feel my truck shake. So I get up and look out the window and I see this guy walking away from my truck. So I jump up in the front seat. I roll down my window. I'm like, hey, did you need something? He was like, you're not supposed to be parked here. He was like, who gave you permission to park here? I said, I asked security and I asked the police. He said, well, the owner of this property don't want anyone here. I was like, well, let me get up and leave. Well, he was like, it's too late for that. I said, what you mean? He said, look at your window. So I pulled my curtain back and he didn't put a parking boot on my windshield.
Oh, hell no.
So he says, there's only 1 or 2 ways that come off. He said, you either pay, if you pay it through the parking thing, because the parking boot has its own little like scanner on it for like debit cards and stuff. He was like, if you pay it through that, you have to pay a $300 deposit plus the $500 fee to get it taken off. Or he was like, you could cash out me $500 right now and I'll put a code in and take it off. So of course, in my mind, I'm going through all the scenarios of how to get this thing off, on my own, and none of that was really gonna work. The only other real ways to get that thing off was you can either break your own windshield, but this was 11:30 at night, and I'm in Philly and it's 20 degrees. I'm not going to sit out here with no windshield, and Safe Light wasn't going to come out at that time of night anyway. The only other way to do it is there was a technique where people say you leave your defrost on for 15 minutes, and it should start loosening the suction on those giant suction cups.
Mm-hmm.
But that don't work either, because if you try to do that, it sets off an alarm. And then the parking people will just come right back out and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't do anything. I had to give them the money.
Well, so where was the security?
My point exactly. I went and looked, because I'm not the type of person, like I've been driving 6.5 years. It'd be 7 years in March. I never once got booted, and I never parked anywhere like that even remotely suspicious without going to get someone's permission. So like I said, not only did I get the police's permission, but I got the security guard's permission. But this person who came out and did that was like some third party parking enforcement agency.
Should have called the police. Should have called the police and had them come over.
The police weren't going to do anything because the police was just going to say it was private property.
Private property. Yep.
So it wasn't really. I knew I was up shit's creek, as they say. So it wasn't really nothing I could do.
Man, I would have gave him a gift card.
I don't think I've ever seen a boot that goes on a windshield before. What's that look like?
It looks like a big ass book.
You'll see when I post my video. It'll be the thumbnail of my video.
Okay.
It's literally look like a big giant yellow, basically just a big giant yellow blockage, and it got two big giant suction cups that are about this big that are attached to your windshield.
If you defrost on and you try to all that stuff off, you said it starts ringing them, let them know that it's coming.
Yes, it has an alarm on it.
Will it fall off by the time before they get there, or what? Or it just makes an alarm?
It rings off a loud alarm.
Shit, still tried it anyways, man. If it fell off before they came back,
yeah.
But that suction is so powerful now, it still could crack your windshield. Trying to just take it off like the older way they used to make those things, you could turn your defrost on and you could get like a credit card or something like an ID, anything, and just kind of slide it under the suction cup and peel it off.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that alarm now, that alarm goes off and it'll alert them out there. Plus, when they put that thing on there, they already have your license plate information too.
Hey, pay with a credit card?
No, I gave cash. I should have paid with a credit card. I know where you're getting with that. Because I should have paid with a credit card and then just did like a fraud charge. That's what I should have did.
Technically, I see that as fraud. Because he was trying to get me to Cash App him, but it was showing up and it kept saying that it was a scam. So Cash App wouldn't even let me send him the money. See,
that's when I would have called
man. I would have called the police there. I'm like, listen, man, I don't know what's going on. It don't seem legit. I tried to pay him. Cash App saying it's a scam. I would have been like, hey, I don't know what's going on. I don't feel comfortable with this situation. Like, if the bank's telling me it's a scam, can you tell this motherfucker to take his shit off my thing so I can get out of here? Because
it was private property. Now, had it been public property, I would have called the police.
Mm-hmm.
But because it was private property, I just had to take that one on the chin.
I think it's a big thing down in Georgia as well too, where they're going around booting people's trucks and stuff like that, and it became like a hot issue on the news and whatnot because it turned out that a lot of those people were fake or scammers. Pretty much.
Memphis, Tennessee had a problem with that too.
A lot of them are actually, not even supposed to be doing business, and like somebody in the comments said, it's called a barnacle. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
They have a whole website called like barnacleparking.com or whatever, but that's what it's called. It's called a barnacle. And it sticks to your windshield, and you cannot take that thing off without breaking your windshield.
So Alaska Hall just said, that's when you open the window and drive a mile down the road like Ace Ventura.
And I wanted to, I wanted to do that so bad, but because that thing is a high visibility thing, you riding at night looking out your window like that, the police gonna get you for visibility issues because it's
Yeah,
blocking the driver's side.
that's the reason why I don't go to the Northeast, man. No
That's another
parking,
reason why I
and
don't go to
they're setting you up basically to as a source of revenue because you don't got no
Oh
place
yeah,
to park, you ain't got no hours, traffic
yep,
freaking sucks up there, and then
yep.
now you got somebody coming throwing stuff on your locking your truck up. It makes no freaking sense at all.
Don't worry, I won't go back.
I have no issue not serving the people in the Northeast at all whatsoever. I don't want to give them my service just because of that. And I'm cool with it. I don't give a damn how much the load pays. I'm not going up there.
Let me catch up on these comments, guys. So You Smell Funny says, I feel it's better to keep all endorsements just like the Twick Hazmat just as a backup. Alaska Hall says, who's applying at Hirschbach? We're all going to do Hirschbach dance.
We're all going Hirschbach and whatever the fuck they want to call it.
Hirschbach,
yeah. Been there, done that.
We're going to get cowboy hats, too. You Smell Funny.
Yeah.
I don't drive anymore, but I still keep my CDL active. They call it a barnacle. Anybody has information on DMT, interested in joining them? Wondering where I could get home every weekend like they advertise. Never heard of DMT. Have you guys?
DMT is I've seen them flatbed
They're
out
a
of Lake
part
City,
of the
Florida.
PNS family.
They're out of Lake City, right?
I'm not sure where they're out of, but they're definitely a part of PNS because when I was at Shelton, I would see DMT around a lot, and they would come park at the terminal sometimes. So
they got those orange trucks.
No, they're
orange
I think
or
you're
red
talking
trucks
about,
or something.
I think you're talking about Decker. I think you're talking about Decker. DMT sometimes have some white trucks.
CDT or something else. My bad. Different company.
Or you may be talking about Buddy Moore, maybe, but yeah, DMT is like part of the PNS family. I mean, you could probably get home every weekend. I think they have a lease program. They're definitely a flatbed company.
As a company driver, you can get home every weekend.
Usually,
as a lease driver, this is a different story right there.
I mean, if you live in a good freight area, you can get home every weekend. But even then, I wouldn't recommend it.
When you live in Florida, don't expect to go home every weekend. Think you couldn't? You taking the check with you, man? I'm just saying.
No, I ain't never that crazy. I know where I live at, and I know I suck. I know not to go home every weekend.
And you in the Panhandle, so
right,
you got a little bit easier than the rest of us here, because the rest of us, we live down there in Central Florida. We're deadheading a good bit. You only got to go about 100 miles to Mobile to get you a load.
Yeah, go to Mobile or Montgomery, Birmingham. Yeah, get some out of there.
James G says, y'all haven't seen the trouble with trucks getting booted in Memphis. Sounds about the same. Yeah, that's where I heard all the problems was in Memphis.
Memphis,
got friends that
the Northeast,
got to take care of. Yep.
And Atlanta.
I actually got booted like 3 years ago. I got booted in Fort Worth, Texas, in a Walmart parking lot. That pissed me off.
And then there was the thing about people's tires getting slashed too.
Yeah, CDT. That's who I was talking about. Yeah, CDT.
So Macon, Georgia. I don't know what he's talking about on Macon.
I think he's saying that's another hot place to get booted to.
Call me the cleanup man. Y'all would love oil work if you were able to sneak it under.
So squeeze a little bit of oil through the barnacle.
Oh yeah. I've also heard that what is it, like chicken fat or chicken grease works too? Like from what I've heard, like some people when they go up north and they know they're going up north, they get like some chicken fat or grease and they smear it on their windshield before they go to sleep, just in case someone tries to put one on, it won't stick.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if
that's like the craziest thing, but
I got something for the one on the tires, the one that clip on the tires. I got something for that just in case.
What's the window treatment? What's that called? The makes it slippery. What's that shit called?
Like the Rain-X or something?
Rain-X. I wonder if Rain-X would work if you had Rain-X on your window.
I don't know. I think you're gonna need something a little bit more powerful, like you said, some chicken grease.
Yeah, they definitely recommend doing like chicken fat or chicken grease and just Some people even just saying like just chicken skins or something, and just smear it all over your windshield before you go to sleep, and the thing won't stick. So by the time you can, if you're not a heavy sleeper, you'll feel somebody shaking your truck trying to put that thing on there.
Mm-hmm.
And that, cause like I said, I felt it when he did it, and I jumped up immediately. But by the time I jumped up, he had already did it. Had I been up and not sleep and saw him coming, I would have crunked that truck up and took off. Period.
Did they have any signs out there that said no truck parking allowed?
Nope.
See, you could have fought that right there. You could have called police and fought that.
That's why I would have called the police, even though it's private
Because
property.
I wouldn't have parked there
it's
if they
good.
did.
Well, here's the thing: if you would have called the police, even though it's private property, they're putting some kind of apparatus on your vehicle, which would have been illegal to begin with, because you have to have signs posted in order for them to do that. Period.
Well, they got you out of that 500 real easy, boy.
Yes, they did. Anytime that shit happens, call the police, man. Even though it's private property, man, they can't. You can tell the police officer, "Hey, I'm going to remove this," one way or the other, and they'll be there with you while you do it. And then once they come, when the alarms come off, what are they going to say? There ain't much they can say if they're doing something wrong or illegal.
That's all right.
Call me the clean. Jacksonville has clean a man said DMT's in Stark, Florida. Stephen Dunn put a lot of research into this after he got booted.
Oh, yes. I'm college educated.
Trust me, man.
Steven, say it with me, Steven. Say it with me. I will not go back to the Northeast.
I will not go back to the Northeast.
Yeah, do not go back to the Northeast. I haven't been back to Fort Worth, Texas since that happened. Not at all. And not only that, I'm really, really careful about where I park at, whether it's a Walmart or wherever. I make sure
I don't
I
never
go
park
in.
at Walmart.
You can most of them.
Done and I get out of there.
85% of them, you go in and park, and there's no signs. You go in and talk to them; they'll let you park there. Just show them your pee bottle collection when they try to boot you. That's what you do. That's right.
Spray them with
Either
some
your
pee bottle juice.
Either your pee bottle or your 5-gallon bucket that you use for other things. Oh,
I don't have one of them, but I need to invest.
They, buddy, those little 5-gallon buckets, man, work great, dude.
For what?
Exactly
Taking a
what you
shit,
think it was.
But in Amazon, man,
I just wanted to say it.
You go to Amazon, you can get the little toilet lid seat that fits right on a 5-gallon bucket. Works perfect, dude. Get you some it's a 5-gallon bucket. Get you some 7-gallon garbage bags. Put them in there, a liner. When you're done, throw them in the garbage. Works really well.
Depot bucket,
buddy. When you get out
cheaper.
When you get out west, you might be 2 or 3 hours before you even see a rest area or a stop to take a piss or a shit or anything. You got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Got to go where nature calls, man. In nature.
So, 3 Rigs says, can you park in the back of a Walmart, kind of by the receiving, out of the way of trucks delivering? That's kind of a tough one, because I personally would not park in the back, because you're going to be in the trucks coming in, delivering and stuff. Most of the Walmarts nowadays, if you noticed, they've all got those shipping containers, especially around this time of year. They got all them shipping containers that they use as storage, and it's tight enough to even get back there in the first place. But I usually park on the side where the service center is for the autos and stuff, and that's usually where you'll find a lot of the trucks too.
A lot of Planet businesses will let you park there, though.
Yeah,
you can get showered at Planet Fitness.
You smell funny, says, laugh my ass off. It's gross, but imagine if you had a Windex bottle as a pee bottle. Yeah, no shit.
I just said the same thing, man. Threat deterrent. Hey, take it. Don't come near me. Go away.
Fill up a super soaker gun with it. Just spray it.
There you go. be like a machine gun full of piss.
It can't get that serious.
A bunch of terrible. Man, I'm sorry they fleeced you out of $500, man.
Yeah, they bit me over pretty good.
They got you, boy. They
could at least tell me they love me before they bit me over, though.
That's right, man. Well,
give me a reach around or something.
No warning.
I was gonna say, yeah, you can do a reach around. Like, You do reach around like Coach and Cooper, you know.
Right. It's all right though. Lesson learned.
You smell funny. I had a buddy that drove for Walmart private fleet, and they even have stores that they can't park at. Most of these stores are due to noise ordinances. Yeah, funny to say that because I've done some work for Walmart, and when you run their trailers and run with them, you can park at their stores. I've never heard of any store that the Walmart drivers can't park at. And with the noise ordinances, it don't matter. All you have is an APU on their trucks, anyways. You just can't run your truck. I'm not saying there aren't any stores that you can't, but wouldn't sound right.
Oh well. Anyway, what's your plan?
So
What are you guys planning on Christmas? You guys going home? You guys staying out? Like, what's the plan?
Mm. My plan is probably do like a early Christmas with my family, and then just kind of thug it out on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to go home after this load I deliver in Kissimmee by Tuesday. I may get a load up, maybe going to like Texas, go home and maybe circle back before Christmas. But my plan was to stay out just because usually a lot of other people go home. And what happens is rates kind of go up really high because a lot of other truckers are off the road and they need that freight move. So I know I tend to stay out. What y'all doing?
What about you, Fly?
I'm gonna go home. What's Christmas? So Tuesday? Yeah, I think it's a Tuesday. I'm gonna go home
Wednesday.
sometime on Monday. Is it Wednesday?
Yep, it's on a Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
I thought it was a Tuesday. I apologize.
It's
man.
on Wednesday. I know for a fact because I turned 32 on Thursday.
I think I'm going to go home on Tuesday then, and I'm just going to go home for Tuesday and then Wednesday, and then probably go back out early Thursday morning. Try to get a rush in. I just want to make sure all my incidentals are caught up for the truck payment and everything. But yeah, holidays suck for a lot of reasons. It hurts our business, and in drive van, and I'm sure it's the same way with you guys too. But in drive van, there's no work. Everybody goes home. All these warehouses and shit. It doesn't pay to stay out. I've tried to stay out on holidays before, and it's not worth it. You might as well just take the hit and go home anyways. Isn't that what you think too, 18?
No, I don't know.
I've never had any luck on holidays.
I have, and that's why I tend to stay out. Yeah, I normally, because like I said, a lot of people are home or they're scheduling to go home, and a lot of companies, like you said, even though a lot of companies are shutting down, there's still some freight that needs to be moved, and they're going to want to pay big dollars to get that freight moved.
It'd be nice to get something that probably delivers, like pick up before Christmas, delivers after Christmas or something like that.
Right.
Everybody's going to be
take
closed.
it home with you.
Everybody's going to be closed on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after Christmas, more than likely. So it'd be nice to have something sitting on your back if it's going home. That way you at least have a load with you, so you can actually have a delivery afterwards.
Yep, that'd be my point. If I go home, I'm not going to go home empty. I'm going to have something on me.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm planning on doing as well too. Because there's always something going to Central Florida, man. It's always a little going down there. It would be nice to at least still have something and then be able to move out right after.
So Steven says Trucker Alert is trashing Tim and Pote. I just
He's
went
been
to
doing it for the last couple of weeks,
page.
like everybody else been.
That's flatbed, and the only one that's flatbed is Steven down at the bottom.
I'm the only one flatbed.
In the cold.
What about just negotiating the load over Christmas? That's an idea too, 3 rigs, and I'm okay with doing that because I've taken loads home to Florida and held on to them, and that might be an option again. I've done that the last 2 times I went home with loads. Just depends on what's on the board. If I can pick something up on Monday or Tuesday and make that work, then that's probably what I'll end up doing. I just, like I said, I haven't had a lot of luck working on What's your plans? We never talked about yours, 18. What are you gonna do?
If I can find a load that I can sit on through the holiday, great. If not, well, I'm just playing everything by ear at the moment, so that's what I'm on right now.
Yeah. That's kind of
I'm
my
just happy.
strategy right now too. I know I'm going home, but I just don't know exactly the route yet. What, a week and about a little bit over a week left to really make that decision, but I am going home one way or the other. Oh man, my back is hurting.
And that old stuff, that old people thing done caught up to you, but
Mhm.
Well, you've been if you've ever been bounced around in accidents like I have in my lifetime. I've been in like 40 accidents in my lifetime.
you've been
And
bounced around. Pause.
been bounced around. I've had back injuries, neck injuries, fucking leg injuries, every type of injury you can imagine. And what's funny is out of the 40 or so accidents that I've been involved in, only one of them was ever my fault. And that was the very first accident I had when I was 19 years old. At a 3-day old um, Mustang that I had just bought, a brand new Mustang, 3 days old. And I was acting like a jackass, and I ran into the back of somebody. That's what happens when you get a 5.0 Mustang and you act like a jackass. And that's what I did. From there on, every accident I've ever had has been somebody else's fault. I've been in all kinds of accidents. I had 2 truck accidents back in 2017 within a week of each other. One of them was a major accident, which really fucked me up. I couldn't move for about 3 months, and I was on workers' comp for about 9 months out of that deal. I was working for a small company, but yeah, I've been bounced around, man. How about you guys? Have y'all been in a lot of accidents?
Uh,
Cars or
no,
trucks, it don't matter.
I've only been in. Uh, I had one hiccup in the truck a couple months ago. We're passing over the 285 in Atlanta. We're over on that overpass, and the pickup truck behind me was not paying attention. He claimed that he was looking at his GPS, and he ran right into the back of the trailer. So he got cited for that. That's like the only issue that I had in a truck that I'm going on record for. And then I had 2 accidents. My first accident was my fault. I had recently learned how to drive a manual car at that time, and I ran into the back of these people who decided to switch lanes at the last moment. So that was on me either way, no matter what. And funny thing enough, I took that car right back, took the bumper off because the metal bumper itself, took that off, got one from the junkyard. Me and my buddy sat there and tacked it back in. God rest his soul. So we did. I did that. The second accident I've ever had was when my first daughter. She was about a couple months old. It was December. A couple months old. We were in the back seat. My best friend was driving a car, and we was on our way to the store to go get like stuff for the baby and whatnot. And I guess I was paying attention to my daughter. He was driving. I guess people in front of him decided to bust a U-turn in somebody's yard, not look behind him, and that pretty much tore him up, you know. And he never wore seatbelts, and he damn sure as hell wears his seatbelt every single time from now. And that's another thing too. Like anybody that's ever been in my car, driving my car, I don't pull away until everybody has a seatbelt, just because of that incident.
Oh, boy.
All right, so James G says, how many loads would you say you have to tarp, Stephen, percentage wise?
Very rare with Mercer, honestly. Now when I was with Boyd, oh god, with all the lumber and stuff I hauled, I tarped a lot. This load I have is only partially tarped. I didn't have to tarp the trash compactor, but I did have to tarp the balers that I have. There's 3 of them. They have to tarp those, but that's just what I've been at Mercer 2 months now, and this is only the fifth load I've had to tarp since I've been here. So percentage wise, if I have to give a percentage, I maybe only tarp 20% of the time, maybe 15%, because I've only tarped 5 loads since I've been here. Everything else is just straps or chains.
You ready for that cold weather? That cold weather flatbedding, man.
Man, I was born ready. I started flatbedding in the winter, and I did it on purpose. When I started at Boyd back in January, I purposely started in the winter because I said that if I can handle, what's considered one of the hardest things to do, which is flatbedding, if I can handle it in the winter time, or during the worst times to do it, I know the
You be
summer and
straight.
spring will be nothing, right? So that was that military in me challenging myself,
Mm-hmm. That's
and
kind of the same thing I did with trucking. I started trucking in the dead of winter. Say if I could do it in the winter, I'll
right.
be fine. So
Yeah, so I'm prepared. I got me some thermals and stuff, so I'm ready when it starts getting like negative something. But I'm trying to stay southeast anyway, so I don't want to worry about any negatives. But if I have to go up north, it damn sure won't be northeast again. Maybe Illinois or Indiana, maybe some Iowa, but I'm
hmm
damn sure not going up there no more.
it costs too much money, man. Well, you
Yeah,
almost paid
with
off
all the
what?
tolls and stuff, no. I'll let the professional truck drivers handle that. Mm-mm.
Yeah. So Justin says, "What do y'all think about the drones in New Jersey and New York?" That's kind of
I
off
don't
the
think
topic a
nothing
little bit.
about it. I don't live there, so they allow that kind of crazy stuff up there. More power to them.
You know
Yeah,
that's
so
funny.
there's something about that.
That's funny that you say that, but you think about it. The crazy shit like that only happens in the places where you imagine the crazy shit happens. Like that. The drones are all up there. You remember about 6 months, a year ago? You remember the aliens in the mall down in Miami? You remember that story?
No, what?
You all need to you need to Google it. It's on YouTube. There was aliens in the mall in Miami. You don't believe me? Google it or YouTube it and watch it. That story was all on the news everywhere for about a week, and then it just disappeared. Now this drone shit, we'll hear about it for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. It'll disappear. And that type of shit only happens in major populated areas like that where you expect stupid shit like that to happen because of the people that you deal with in those areas. Does that make
Also
sense?
known, also known as democratic states and cities.
Well, I didn't want to get political. I didn't want to get political on it, but yeah, you're right.
Please,
You know what
let's
I'm
not
talking
get political.
about. But yeah, that's kind of what I meant. Count Me Trucking says that summertime is much worse than winter, in his opinion.
I'd
Oh
rather
yeah,
deal
that's
with the heat
he,
any day, all day, every day, no problems. I would
yeah,
never
I
he's
complain
mean,
one of
about
my
the
man,
heat.
I mean,
usual
yeah, too.
subscribers or whatever. He used to work at Boyd. Also, Cal Me Truck, are you still at CRST? Remember he went there to do flatbed. He was at Boyd before me, and then he left at some point to do other things.
So James G says he was hoping to see some of those drones down there in Texas. I know some good old boys just waiting to let some lead fly out. That's kind of what I was thinking too. That was my first opinion. I'm surprised that nobody has shot any of these things down.
They call that
That's
duck hunting
surprising.
down there, bird hunting.
Yeah. So three said parking and tolls in the Northeast are ridiculous. Um, yeah, that and just the fact that nobody really cares about truck drivers up there. They try to run you off the road. They cut in front of you.
Right.
They don't realize that they're fucking Gucci shit that they're wearing or whatever their fucking fancy is that came from a truck. That's one of the reasons why I hate going to those areas. It's one of the reasons why I don't go to California. I don't like going into the Northeast. Pennsylvania is about as far northeast as I'll go to. I don't know about you guys, but that's my limit. And I don't even like going to Pennsylvania.
I don't like going to Pennsylvania because the
That's
fuel
why I
tax is
just got
freaking
that boot on my
ridiculous.
damn window with.
That fuel tax is freaking ridiculous. That's why I don't like
Buddy,
going to
I don't even go into Philadelphia.
Like I
I
said,
don't
that's
go
why I
Oh,
just got that
well,
boot at in
Pennsylvania
Philadelphia.
just itself. I don't like going to Pennsylvania just for the fuel tax. That's pretty much just about it.
Mhm. I just got booted in Philly. They won't see me again.
So Count Me Trucking says yes.
Okay, so you still at CRST. How's it going over there? You making any money? I know you had a plan you were operating on. So yeah, how's that going?
So Key says people and roads suck in Pennsylvania. I agree with you on the roads. Um, the people are okay. I mean, if you're in the central part of PA, they're not bad. But if you get over to the Philly side, yeah, they're a little bit on the raw side. I don't know about you guys, but I don't do a whole lot of anything around the Pittsburgh area. The only time I do anything in Pittsburgh is if I'm just driving through. I've never delivered anything in that area.
I don't think Pittsburgh's all that bad. It's all country on
Yeah.
that side of the state. So
So he says you smell funny. Just be glad none of you live in Pennsylvania. I feel bad for the ones that live there.
I
So
wouldn't live there for anything. I'm sorry.
the one guy that was in here earlier, he lives in Pennsylvania. I know because I've talked to him on the phone. He is. I don't see him on here now. Jim Dash
Well, it's all
Bow.
right.
He lives in Pennsylvania. You know what? I might be wrong on that. I don't know if Jim Dash Bow lives there or not. I might be wrong on that. I get so many people calling me all the time.
I got friends who live in Pennsylvania, and I told them they used to ask me, "Yo, you gonna come through? You gonna come through?" And they don't live in like Philly or anything like that. They live in the countryside. And I even tell them, I said, "I'll be damned if I come up there, especially with these rates, how these rates are. Not interested in going anywhere near Pennsylvania. Just and I said it's more of a fuel tax issue for me. It's just too goddamn high, and just don't want to deal with that."
So Steven says he lives in Pennsylvania. We weren't trashing Philadelphia per se, but it's just
I was.
difficult.
Yeah, I would. I'd trash Philadelphia all day, every day. I hate Philadelphia, dude. I'm sorry. Those streets are way too freaking small, and they expect you to drive that truck around there like it's a goddamn
Chicago's
bicycle.
worse.
It's
Chicago's
freaking crazy, man.
Keith, he's got a question for you, Steve. How's your truck running, love? Hopefully you have smooth sailing since your last breakdown.
Truck's good. I need to get a steer tire replaced soon, but before I do that, I need a 3-axle alignment, and then I'm gonna get a tire replacement. Other than that, no, truck's running like a dream.
Bedtime for you already, buddy?
It's close, man. Got to take my pills. That's another thing too, buddy. With me being in all my accidents and stuff, I'm 54, and I've never taken medication for anything. Nothing.
You smell funny. I agree with you. Sheets and the service plazas on the turnpike is top tier. I will give them that.
Oh yeah, sheets. I love some sheets.
I will give them that.
Have you guys stopped at Rooters or Rudders or whatever? I tried them this past week, and
never heard of it.
I think Sheets is better than Rudders, in my opinion.
Rudders has some good food, though.
Well, somebody was telling me about Rudders, but they don't compare to Sheets.
Hey, Steve, I'm not trashing the state.
Right.
Well, for me personally, I'm trashing Philadelphia, bro.
It's Philly we're trashing, not the state.
It's cool. Besides the fuel tax. But if I had a personal vanilla against anything, it'll be Philadelphia, dude.
What'd you say? A personal vanilla? Is that what you said? A personal
vendetta.
But you said personal vanilla.
I mean, he got that too. So.
Count me trucker says good going. I was broke down for a week in Shreveport a couple weeks ago, and it cost me over $6,000.
Jeez,
Steve says he lives in Trump country.
Yeah, they Trump country again.
3 Rig says, can anyone see a brighter future for 2025?
We're all hoping for it. That's why we're in it right now. I mean, there would be it would make no sense to go buy trucks in the year 2024 just to, we got. I'm not trying to get political here, but we got the right people back in office that are more concerned about the economy than be worried about social justice. And I feel like we're well, let's just see what happens. We got the people that we got the people that we need in office. Let's just see what happens moving forward. So
Well, I'm going to take a big gamble on this, like we all have. Taking a big gamble, hoping that things are going to get better. But I had a guy call me the other day, just somebody fresh off of one of my lives, or I don't know, maybe he made a comment, and he called me, and I told him, I said, hey, you know what? Now, I mean, in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, like we're just talking about taking big gambles and stuff. Right now is the time to buy a truck, because what's going to happen if things do get better in the next couple of months in January, February, March, whenever these things start going up, guess what? Everybody's going to want to get back into trucking again. Trucking prices are going to go up. Right now is the time to get into one if you got a line to get into something good. Again, that's just my opinion. And you're right, 18. You know, it's just it's a gamble. We don't know for sure. Steven says he hates Philly. We all do, buddy. Count me trucking. Western Pennsylvania ain't bad, but screw the east side of state. That's kind of what I was saying. Pop Tart says, pulling a reefer or dry van, it's a bad idea because it's welfare wagon to be going up there. Yep. Steven says, I live in the mountains in northeast Pennsylvania. I find it challenging driving in the Northeast. Sometimes it can be. There's Irishman. James, question, do you consider F2F safer score hamper your performance as a driver? No. Why, I don't know why it would hamper my score as a performance of a driver. As a matter of fact, me and Poppy just looked up the safer score of F2F the other day. It's comparable to any other company that's out there right now, and quite frankly, I get green lighted at almost 99% of the weigh stations, anyways, and that has a lot to do with your safer score. So no, it doesn't hamper me at all.
Are you having issues booking loads? Like there are certain brokers just don't want to book loads with F2F?
No. Well, you got to understand, I'm undedicated. So what I run the same brokers and the same stuff all the time. But Poppy's not run into that problem at all. But what's that got to do with what their safer score is? You know, and that's another thing, too. Somebody put out a rumor about that where they had some of the brokers that weren't working with F2F. I haven't found that. Even when I've pulled broker loads, I've not found anybody that hasn't worked with them. So either that's an old situation from years ago, or it's just not existent any longer. But no, I don't see any hampering with it at all. Now, I'm not speaking for everybody, but me personally, no, it doesn't hamper me at all. Is that what you're talking about, 18?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Drove Wilmington to Connecticut every night and loved it. So Jim Dashbo on a load now that picked up in Philly that goes to Compton, California. Shitty on both ends, but it sets me up for a nice load out of Paris, California to Jacksonville, Florida to get home for the holiday. Yeah, that sounds like
nice.
That sounds like a real nice load.
That's a real nice run right there.
3 rigs. They just put a Sheets in Salisbury, North Carolina, across the street from Love's. Yeah, you know what? I heard that, and I'm going to be going that way here later this week. So, Pop-Tart, you still riding around with a plug in your steer tire? Who's got a plug in your steer tire?
He was talking about me.
Did you have a plug in your steer tire?
Something got stuck in it, but I haven't lost any air pressure.
Be careful with that, Steven, man. You don't want DOT to give you an out of service.
I was going to say, is that legal even?
I don't know.
I'm just alleging that
hey,
that's what you're
honest,
doing.
Man.
I mean, I still have plenty of like tread depth, and I check my tires with a I have that the little silver air pressure gauge, and I have not lost any air pressure.
Just get it changed as soon as possible, bro.
That's what I'm trying to do. I mean, after what I did with the whole repair thing, I'm trying to build my maintenance account up to do that.
Sure. I got you, man. You got to, hey, you know what? You got to do what you got to do in this market, man. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Whether you cheat,
trust me, I ain't trying to risk it. I've had enough problems.
Yeah. Well, it's better than working at Super Ego. So,
honestly, dude, I wish you would have needed a steer tire because I blew a steer tire here about 3 weeks ago, and I would have given you the one steer tire that I had left because I replaced both of them, and the other one had about 50% tread left on it. I would have given it to you if I would have known you needed one.
That sounds good. Yeah, man, I'd rather be a lot looser than working Super Ego again.
So You Smell Funny says, I moved from Virginia, and the only thing I miss are Wawa, Sheets, and 7-Eleven. The close 7-Eleven now, to me, is got to be my passport to go to. So You Smell Funny, there's Wawas in Florida now.
You got
Almost everywhere in
now. We've
Florida.
always had Wawas in Florida, man. It's the best thing
10
ever.
years. They just
Yep.
celebrated 10 years in Florida. Trump 2028 businessman. Only problem with that is Trump can't run in 2028 unless it's one of his sons. This will be a second term. Be nice, but unless some changes change. James G. I just took a gamble and bought me a truck. I'm hoping it takes a turn for the good. Pay cash, so no payment. That's good
What kind
for you,
of truck
buddy.
you got, James? Tell us. Give us some info on the
Yeah.
equipment that you bought.
So SFI charging $250K. What are they charging $250K for? Josh says must be their full payment or something now. I mine's not that much. Josh Ritter, have any of you ever checked out? What are we checking out?
What are you talking about, mentally, or are we just talking about? What are we talking, because as a truck driver, you checked out at least 3 or 4 times a day. So
Right.
So count me trucking, guys. I don't think it's bad overall, but I've been doing it for 2 years. This is the best money I've ever made. Yeah, you know what? And that's what I tell everybody. You know what? We're surviving in the worst trucking market that that this country has ever had. I mean, all of us are. I mean, has it been great? No, but we're still making money. As long as you're making and you're happy with it, that's all that matters. Just stick it out and keep moving until the good gets good. So he says, general question: if I get cited for a log violation, does the company safety score get hit anyways? I would say that they do.
I'm not
I don't
sure,
know that
but-
answer for sure.
But the way
But
Super Ego been running, man, I'm thinking that it's not an issue for
I'm
them.
surprised they're not out of business.
Well, they do have a class action lawsuit out about them. I'm actually part of that class action lawsuit. But that's more so due to their pay and the way that they advertise their pay.
Damn, Steven, who
That's-
sent you over to Super Ego, bro?
It
You didn't
was
watch the videos, man?
Oh no, it wasn't even like that. Like it was a situation where I had hired a driver. Like when I had my own authority, I hired a driver to drive my truck, and I was like, okay, let me go somewhere and lease a truck. So I just went to Super Ego to go lease their truck while I had a driver in my truck. That's why I went there. But when my driver decided he'd rather do cocaine and weed than drive the truck, I had to gave Super Ego back their truck and went and got mine back.
So Josh, he's clarifying. Have you ever checked out Bruce Oakley, or do you know anybody there? It's funny because I have.
That's
checked
where I
out
was
Bruce
going to
Oakley.
go.
I've checked out Bruce Oakley. Another friend of mine that I brought into JB Hunt was telling me about Bruce Oakley, and I'm sorry, excuse me, not JB Hunt, but another company. He was telling me about Bruce Oakley. They pay by the mile, and they have 3 different types of equipment you can do.
Yep.
Not really looked into them any further than that, but I mean, from what it sounds like, it's a pretty decent company as long as they keep you moving. Because the whole idea, if you're making $1 per mile rate like that, and I think, don't quote me on this, but it's pretty good dollar mile rate, like $2 plus a mile. You can probably make some money with them, especially if it's all miles like they advertise.
I was going to go there before I came to Mercer. I had actually filled out an application for them before I filled out my Mercer application, but they actually have a hiring freeze in Florida right now, so they won't hire anyone out of Florida. But that's where I was going to go. I was going to do what they call like their hopper bottom division. So I was going to go there and do that. And then they have like the pneumatics thing, and then there's like what's the other one, like end dumping, I think are their divisions. But yeah, they do pay by the mile. They have a working relationship with Arrow Truck Sales, where I got my truck from. There's an Arrow right near their main terminal in Little Rock, and they have like a working relationship with them, where kind of like how SFI does with Schneider, where if you get a truck from Arrow and you take it to Oakley, they kind of give you like a better rate on it because they have a working relationship with them. But that's where I was going to go before I came to Mercer, but they took too long to call me back. I didn't get a call back from them until about a week or two after I had started Mercer. But Mercer called me back the same day, so that's why I went ahead and went with Mercer. But my initial plan was to go with Oakland.
So three rig says I haven't had that broker problem. Been here since July. So he's the one that's at F2F also. Yeah, I haven't had that problem either. But again, I'm doing a lot. Probably 60% of dedicated. So Steven says 180 plus 60,000 on the back end. Oh, for the SFI trucks. That's funny. Let's figure out what mine will be. Have you ever? You guys don't have SFI trucks.
I don't think that's how the math is mathing over there.
Yeah, I'm looking up.
It's 180, yeah, but it's 180 minus 60 because you do the 3-year lease, and then at the end of the 3 years, it's 60,000 is what's left over from the 180, and then you pay.
So I just did the math on mine. Mine's 225,000 is what my truck will cost when it's all said and done. Now, with that being said,
I don't think that's how the math is mathing.
Buddy, I just did the math. My payment is $1,103 a week. Times that by 52, then times that. I already did the math. Mine is $225.
Does that include your
That includes the $61,000 balloon payment.
The maintenance,
yes.
The maintenance fund and all that stuff. Does that include all of that?
Maintenance. No, that's just the truck payment itself. Why would you include the maintenance fund?
Okay.
That's your truck payment.
Well,
that's probably what he's doing. He's probably adding the maintenance account and doing $1,500. And yeah, that probably would be around the 250, 260 range. But what you don't understand is that maintenance money is yours. You can use that towards that 60,000.
Yep.
So no, they catch that plug out of service. You go.
Yes, sir. Out of service.
Well, we're not going to make a big deal about it on here. I don't want anybody to see this. Steven, you don't want to blow out. Stop. You smell funny.
Steven.
It'd be legal if you were a governed truck. I don't want to get into these comments about that. Pop-Tart says the safer scores are not a joke. It's a way sure to who is getting pulled into the scale houses, so they have higher points. They are going to be inspected quicker, and the lower point carriers. That's correct, and I agree. Vance, I don't know what Vance is. When you got to get a tire or do repairs with an SFI truck, do you have to pay the full price, and then do they pay you back for the discount or discounted right at the register? So here's the thing on that, Jim. If you call Monday through Friday during regular working hours before 7 p.m., you don't get an extra service charge. If you call after that, they get, I think, the third-party market people that do that, you get an extra 15% that goes on top of the repair bill and also the tires. So with that being said,
load of shit to me.
With that being said, I paid $600 for two steer. I paid $600 a piece for steer tires a week ago that were $990 a piece. So you do the math: $990 times 2, it would have been almost $2,000 for the steer tires. I paid $1,200, but what really hurt me was their service fee. Their service fee was $800. I still paid $2,000, but if I would have paid $2,000 for the steer tires plus the $800 service fee, it would have been closer to $3,000. But what happens is that comes out of your maintenance account, not out of your own pocket. It comes out of your maintenance account. Hopefully you got enough money in your maintenance account. Haven't run into the situation yet. I don't think either one of you guys ever did when you had it, but what happens when your maintenance account is depleted? Like mine right now is at 0. Hopefully I don't have any issues. Will they still fix the truck? That's a good question. New truck. I bought a 2018 Cascadia, always own Pete's, so this is something new for me.
2018 Cascadia, not a bad deal. Not a bad
$1,250 a week for 3 years. Well, that $1,250, you're including the maintenance that goes in there too. See, my payment is $1,103 a week, and then I have to put $175 in the maintenance. So the maintenance money technically is yours, but it's still you use it to do any kind of maintenance with. So you can't really count that extra $175. Somebody's got some noise in their background. I don't know who it is. A tire is a safety violation, and you get popped with that safety violation. The insurance companies will make it harder for you to get coverage as a driver for about 2 to 3 years, I believe. Steve says he can't wait to leave JB Hunt. Leave JB Hunt and run from them as quickly as you can, Steve. Feel free to give me a call. Feel free to give me a call there, Steve, if you would like, or one of these other gentlemen on here, and we will get you to where you need to go. Do your homework on the companies, though. There's a lot of stuff that goes with all these companies. So Landstar in the spring. So he's going to Landstar in the spring. So feel free to reach out to 18. I think you put your phone number or your email on your pages, right?
I'll tell you what, because I had another driver actually reach out to me on Facebook. So just look me up, Life on 18 Wheels, and you can message me from there. So all spelled the same.
And you can, and again, I put my number up here all the time. You can always grab my number, give me a call, and I can put you over to 18. It's not a problem. Pop-Tart Gone Trucking. That cell phone and seatbelt is another really bad safety violation. Agree with you 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
Irishman says, so what do you guys think of that nuclear verdict regarding Warner Enterprises and the... Yeah, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I don't agree with that verdict, to be honest with you, because from what I understand, the guy was drunk driving, and the Warner driver hit him, and because of the big billboard on the side of the truck, Warner.
I thought it was a lady that was driving.
I think it was a guy. I could be wrong.
It was a brand new truck driver driving in his lane. They say he was driving a little bit too fast for the conditions because it was raining.
Yeah, you're talking
all that
about
besides, right? All that besides that, yeah, that didn't matter because the other people crossed over the median and hit his truck. Now, with this verdict, I don't agree with it because I think it's a complete utter nonsense. Would they have if the results were the same and the truck wasn't there, and say for instance they crossed over the median and they hit the wall, or they hit the other side of the median that was on the other side, are they gonna go sue the state of Texas? They're gonna sue DOT. Is DOT gonna award them $135 million for them basically screwing up themselves? Because that's exactly what happened.
I heard that the Warner driver was not at fault with anything. I heard that the Warner driver did everything right, and that the other driver of the car was drunk and crossed over into the lane, and the family got involved. And this has been going on since 2015 or something. This is how long this case has been going on, and the family got involved, and I forgot what was wrong. There was something wrong with the truck.
They said that it was a brand new driver. Okay. I think he was on his first or second load or whatever. It was raining, and they said he was driving a little too fast for condition. But like I said, all that aside, he was in his truck maintaining in his lane. It's not like he crossed the lane and went over there and hit them. They crossed over their lane and hit him. What doesn't make any sense.
See, that's another thing, too. He was driving too fast for conditions. Now, to me, that is an interpretation. And when you have an interpretation, that's not law. There's nothing wrong with that. There was no speed limit. It is. It's a catch-all phrase. That's an interpretation. And being a police officer, we have a lot of interpretations that we did as officers, whether they were right or wrong. And this is what a judge will tell you. And we can bring Poppy's buddy on here that's a truck driver, too, that was a judge, and he'll tell you the same thing. Interpretation doesn't always mean that it's right or wrong. It's just what, posted conditions are, Who knows? The truck driver might not have been doing a damn thing wrong. And again, just like everything, we were not there. None of us were there. We're only reading what we read and going off of. But answer your question, I don't really have a good answer for that. I think that was
I don't agree with it. Steven, what you say?
I'm busy being fat right now, so y'all excuse me.
So Lance said he did end up at Bruce Oakley, and he said it's the nastiest job he ever took. What about Christian Trucking? So, Pop-Tart, I can tell you anything you want to know about Christian Trucking. That's probably besides where I'm at right now, that was probably one of the better companies I've ever worked for. Great people to work for. Your records got to be very clean, or they won't even look at you. Trying to think what else. They put you in nice equipment. You lease the equipment. The only thing that if I had anything bad to say about Christensen, their lease is, well, when I was there, it was 43 cents a mile. So if you didn't run any miles that week and you went home, you didn't have a truck payment. But you do the math. You had 3,000 miles. My truck payment was, $1,400, $1,500 a week, every single week, week in, week out, because I was running the miles. But the problem that I had more than anything is $1,800 to $1,900 was the most that I could ever bring home. Just wasn't good enough for me for the time that I was putting into it. But other than that, great company. The magic number there to make is 2,500 to 2,600 miles a week, and that seems like you're bringing home about a $1,700, $1,800 paycheck under the right conditions, as long as you fuel right and everything else. All right, so Steve's doing some math. 2025, 1150 times 152 plus 60. Well, mine's 1103, so mine's not 1150. So maybe that's what yours is. And again, with that math, I mean, try to go to a truck dealership once you get your financing and see if you can get anything that's, anywhere near 230. Be kind of hard to do. You smell funny. Steven, do you drop in hooks or mostly live loads?
It's all live loads. He's eating right now, so let me answer it for you.
No, I'm answering. Yeah, but sorry, y'all, I skipped dinner today, so these Cheetos are my dinner right now. But yeah, like with flatbed and Mercy, it's all live load, live unload. Because like I said, you're leasing the trailer, so that trailer goes where you go. You can drop the trailer, and they have loads that like seasonal stuff like FedEx, UPS, Amazon, military stuff that you can go by the terminal in Louisville. You can drop your trailer there and pick up a dry van and run some kind of dedicated stuff that they do have. But as far as flatbed, it's all live load, live unload. But flatbed, you tend to get loaded and unloaded pretty quickly. Because like with a dry van, of course, there's one forklift guy. He's going in, taking stuff out, coming back in. But with flatbed, you can have 2-3 people hitting you all at once from both sides. You can basically get a train ran on you.
Oh.
So they just taking it any angle they can get it.
So Steven, with your math, you're probably right. 235 for a 2025 Freightliner. I got a 24, and like I said, mine's right around 225 is what I'm going to end up paying for mine. And not only that, it looks like they might have raised the prices up a little bit too. So I'm not going to go back in
on those international.
I'm not going to go back into the steer tire plugs and all that shit. There's a couple comments on that. I'm not going to read those again. Yeah, they fix it and back charge. That's kind of what I thought. Steve, do you have a SFI truck? I'm assuming you do with you talking about it. Pop-Tart Gun Trucking. Hire illegal. They might steal your whole truck and throw you at the throw you to the steer at those prices. Hire an illegal. They might steal you while you whole truck with you in the steer tire at those prices.
That's not what it says. Hire an illegal. They might steal you a whole truck and throw you a steer at those prices.
So Steven, seems that your number is 18. Seems.
Send me your number. Reach out to me on Facebook. If you have Facebook, just reach out to me on Facebook, Life on 18 Wheels, and I'll respond to you pretty quickly from there.
So here's Irishman. He's talking about the Warner stuff. The Warner driver was driving below the speed limit. He was a brand new driver. It was snowing. The passenger vehicle crossed the median. That's what I heard too.
I heard it was raining, not snowing. This was in Texas, didn't it happen? Right?
Where?
It did happen in Texas, I believe it was.
No, I don't.
Could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I heard it was in Texas that did happen.
Insufficient trading and supervision is why they assigned a partial blame. Okay. Training, not trading. Okay. Texas Supreme has granted review.
Yeah, it did happen in Texas. So.
You ever see a forklift operator drop anything while getting unloaded? I can say I never have. You
Yes.
guys?
I'm in dry van, so I don't, I
Yes,
don't
I
see
have.
nothing
When
until after it happens.
it's on. Well, I don't know if I recorded it for one of my videos when I was at Boyd, but when I was training my very first student at Boyd, we were delivering a load of lumber, and the forklift guy, he was a younger guy. He was coming to unload the lumber, and he rammed the damn trailer. Like he rammed it from like the right side, and the lumber all tumbled down on the left side, while me and my student were still standing there. So we just started backtracking. Like we literally didn't have time to turn around and run. We both just started stepping backwards like we damn wide receivers some damn where. And we had to start moving back as far as we could. What the hell did the fireworks
What
come
the
from?
hell is
What are you doing,
What the
man?
hell?
what is all that? Hey,
I thought I was
you have an iPhone, right?
yeah, I thought I was like on
Yeah,
LSD or
them
some shit.
iPhones
Like
always got some weird stuff going on.
I'm like, hold on, these chips ain't that damn good. I'm hallucinating. Put the
I can't
chips
wait
down.
to watch this replay.
And you got unloaded quick, man.
Yeah, but I had to
You
back
probably
up
ever had.
like crazy. We just started stepping back as fast as they can, and he felt so bad for us. Like we helped him pick up the lumber just because we needed to get the hell out of there anyway. But he felt so bad for us. They like gave us like these 2 apple pies. They were like homemade apple pies,
Oh,
and gave
please
us like
don't
a
tell. Yeah, don't tell. That they gave you the don't tell gifts, right?
basically, and gave us a whole case of like the Celsius, like the energy drinks, and gave us a whole like 12 pack of those, and like 2 apple pies, and we told them their apple pies up.
So, Josh, as my knowledge, I don't think there is an age limit for a truck as long as it passes a DOT inspection. I've seen some ratty trucks at all three of these companies. All three of our companies, I've seen ratty trucks. I think these two guys can probably say the same thing. I don't think there's an age limit as long as they can pass the DOT inspection. Am I right with you guys too?
No, we have to. If you weren't grandfathered into Landstar with an older truck, you must be ELD compliant. Truck got to be able to take ELD.
Same with Mercer. They don't care about the year of the truck, long as it's ELD compliant.
You know
Got to
what?
be
Now that
ELD
you mention
compliant.
that, I think that's the same thing here too. As long as it can accept the ELD. So I think was that like 2005, 2006 when they started that. I think that's about the time period. All right, so Irishman, I'm on the fence right now between F2F, AFT, and TRC. Feel free to give me a call, Irishman. I'll be more than happy to talk to you about F2F. I don't.
I heard
know the
AFT.
companies.
I heard AFT has a YouTube channel, and they usually I think those guys do like their top drivers of the week and how much they make and stuff. And they do make money, but they also be pulling some really cheap freight under $2 a mile. So, and they seem to be pretty successful with it. I think AFT is more like a dispatching service for owner operators than a company itself. And then TRC, well, you want to know more about TRC, just go to Bonehead Truckers. That's his that's where I think that's where he works at. He talks about them a lot. So
Well, the thing is with F2F, I mean, it's really not about the company. It's about you. Where do you want to be? How much do you want to make? And how does your time allow you to do stuff? So you can only bitch and complain about what you do here, about what you do, because really F2F is just here as a kind of like you guys. Same thing. They're just here to help you get your loads and book them for you. That's it. You're doing all that. So Official Willis said he had a crane drop a Kohler generator off the side of his trailer.
ooh.
Oh damn!
So you smell funny. I did flatbed for TMC. We had a guy pick up 2 stacks of plastic pipe. He hit a slight downhill, and it lifted his tires off the ground. He dropped the pipe, laughing my ass off. The forks left a chip in the ground. TMC was the first company that I worked for. I started. That's where I cut my teeth at. It's TMC. Good company. Justin Riley. I had a a fork truck driver go through the side of my dry van before.
Damn.
I've had one when I was working at one of those when I was working at MN89. Let me not do that. I'm just gonna say it. I working at MN89 and they actually busted up my my trailer. They left a hole in there and I had to cancel my load and get that trailer swapped out and get it fixed. I've also had at Swift unloading beer, and there's always magically some hole in the roof after they unload them. So that's another one. That's another doozy. And it's funny because the beer loads are not all they're stacked, but they're not that high. They're about 6 feet high, so it's not stacked all the way to the top of the trailer. But yet somehow there's always a hole in the goddamn roof when they're done unloading the trailers.
Is mine still going in and out again?
No, you've been
good for a while now.
Yeah.
So Merrill says, "What's a good flatbed company to go to with experience?"
How much experience you got?
Right. I would just say it depends on the experience. I say if you only have about 4 to 6 months, I mean, hell, I would say Boyd, or some people would say P&S or Melton, Maverick.
You got Tennessee Steel Haulers.
Right. Those are kind of good starter companies. Now, if you got 6 or more months, a lot of people say Blair is good to go to if you want a good lease program. Yeah, like Blair, ATS, TMC is usually always a good choice, but most people go there because they love their trucks. Just being honest. I mean, yeah, you could come to Mercer with that amount of experience. I think Landstar may want you to have a year of experience.
You got to have a year minimum.
Yeah, but Mercer don't care about your flatbed experience because they have a flatbed course and they'll teach you. So you could come to Mercer without any flatbed experience and they'll put you through a course.
But that don't mean you come over there with no experience.
No, you need driving experience.
Yeah.
You do need a year of driving experience, but you don't have to have flatbed experience at Mercer to do flatbed. They'll teach you. So it just kind of depends on you and what areas you like to run, how you trying to get home, are you trying to lease, own? You know, there's so many questions. Like James always say, do your research.
Yep. Steven said he just sent you a messenger message.
Yeah, that's who I've been on messaging the last couple of minutes. Yeah, we got him.
Can't go to Cali with a ratty truck.
Nope.
Don't want to go to Cali anyway.
Right. I want to go there with a new truck.
At F2F, you can get approved by safety for paper logs. Huh. Interesting. I did not know that. Okay. So you can have an old truck and do paper logs. Any truck after 99 built date has to run ELD unless it's a glider. Okay, so it's 99, not 2005. Okay. I think I'm thinking more of the DEF situation. I think 2005, 2006 when they start putting DEF in the trucks.
Now, even at Mercer, you could probably run with a truck without being ELD compliant because technically we use our phone as our ELD. We have that Motive system. So it's just a little thing that plugs into like your...
Oh, you got Motive too?
Yeah, I have Motive.
That's what I use, but I use a tablet. I keep a tablet over there. That's what I
have a spare phone.
Yeah, I'm not running that stuff on my phone. No way, no how, man. Because
me neither.
When I'm out the truck, they're still tracking you outside the truck.
That's why I use it with my spare phone. I have it on my spare phone, not my phone I use.
And here's the thing that I've also run into since I've been back at Landstar a lot. Okay, you call, you negotiate your load, your rate, or whatever, and then when all's said and done, I've been getting blown up every hour or so about third-party tracking, and I have this belief system: if you didn't ask for it, you ain't getting it. Yeah, I don't do third-party tracking. And like I said, if they ask for it, I'll let them know. Hey, I'll put it on my tablet, but I'm not putting it on my phone. Not getting tracked anywhere. But if you never asked for it and you just sending me saying that I need to accept this, I'm like, well, we never discussed this, so I ain't never see it change my pay, so I'm not gonna sit here and start accepting tracking anyways. Some of these tracking apps, they're not even that secure either. So that's my big reason why I don't use them.
Let me read some comments here. We got some good ones. Jermaine, what's going on, buddy? It's been a while since I've talked at you. Give me a give me a call sometime tomorrow, man. I'd like to catch up with you and see how you're doing. Count me trucking. You can't learn flatbed in 3 days. CRST does the same thing. Steve says you can't run paper only for 8 days. So that's clarifying what Three Rigs said. He made a comment here too. Just a second. 2008 for the DPF filter and 2011 for DEF. Okay. I knew it was somewhere around that 2005, 2006 area. So that's that answers that. Steven says out of service if you get caught with the more than 8 days on the paper. James G, do you have to have cell service for your tablet for it to work correctly?
No.
I use my tablet runs off of my internet, and even when I get spotty connections where it drops, it still remembers and keeps up when it comes back.
The Motive has built-in Wi-Fi, so I actually
So
do
does-
pay for that. So I actually do pay for that service through Landstar.
So does Sam. Sam Sarah has that too, but
Yeah.
most brokers are going with the highway compliance. Merrill says, "Oh man, MN89 is a trash."
I agree
company.
with you 100%, buddy.
I fill out apps just to mess with them. LOL. I'm saying you can have a pre-LED truck, F2F, if safety approves it. I was only told by safety. Okay. Alaska says 2004 plus think is even EGR was mandated.
Never heard
Alright.
of an LED truck before. Must be something new.
Or you see LED truck.
Now you said pre-LED truck.
Oh, stop. Quit being so damn. You smell funny. You smell funny as 18. What states you guys not go to, no matter the rate?
The Northeast. I don't care how much they paying. I ain't going. I'm sorry. California. I never signed up for the California compliance bullshit, so I ain't going over
Alright.
there either. So it doesn't
So-
matter to me.
With you saying that, okay, if somebody paid you 15 grand to go to
No.
New York City,
No,
you still
I
would
said
not go.
no, absolutely not. I don't like those people. Listen, I was born in New York, in Bronx, right?
Let me
and I
put it
still
this
would
way.
not serve those people. I don't care.
I would not go to New York either, but for the right price, there's a lot of things I can be convinced into
Well,
doing.
if you want to sell your soul, that's up to you. I'm not gonna do
But
it.
there
I
has
have
to be a lot of caveats to it though too. I have to be unloaded and unloaded within an hour of both spots.
Well, good
or-
luck with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of caveats that go with it too.
I'm not.
So
doing it. I
Irishman
don't care.
says, I'm too old, fat, and lazy for flatbed. I'm retired from law enforcement. I'm like you, James. I got aches and pains from 20 years of going after bad guys. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of aches and pains of going after bad guys. I have been in some foot pursuits before, but I can remember one foot pursuit I got into. This is kind of funny. I was with another officer. He happened to be black, but we were in the middle of the projects, and for whatever reason, I was the passenger because when we rode, with what we did, we served warrants and we rode two to a car, and I happened to be the passenger, and my fat ass got out and ran after the suspect, and I was the only white guy within probably about a 3-mile radius, and that was kind of funny. But anyway, my partner, after I got done running about 4 blocks, and I was a lot bigger than what I am now, I was breathing really heavily, and he asked me, says, James, I need to call an ambulance for you? Because I was breathing hard. Funny story. After 2004, they introduced EGR, and after 2009, they came up with the DPF. Alaska Hall, what kind of truck you got, 18?
I've got a 2019 International 625 with the 826 motor. Ain't too
And
bad.
do me a favor, Alaska Hall. When I start promoting and start recruiting again, don't give me a lot of shit because I've laid off of it for about 2.5 months because I wanted to make sure that this company was going to be halfway decent before I started promoting or recruiting. So don't give me a lot of shit, please.
Mhm.
I know that's one of your big things that you like doing. So heavy haul in the Northeast pisses me off for overheight. You smell funny. Hunts Point isn't that bad. I went there when I was a rookie, like with 3 months experience.
Well, good luck with that. You can have it. You and Steven can have New York all to yourselves. Bro.
Yeah, he says he loves driving in New York. I agree, man. I don't go to the boroughs either. Did Wilmington to Connecticut down to pick up in Brooklyn and back to Wilmington every night. It's all you, buddy. All you. He loved it. All you. That's just like what's the old saying about the fat girl on the moped? What's it? What's that joke? You remember it?
No.
Um,
It might be an old geezer joke. I don't know.
No, it's not an old geezer joke. You'd know it if I said it. It's kind of the things you don't tell people. They're fun to ride, but you don't want to get caught on one. Talking about a fat girl or a moped.
I love BBWs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Not because
go
I'm
right.
black, but
More cushion for the pusher.
MacArthur says he applied to Mercer, but they
it's
won't
cold
take
outside, man.
They won't take his 04 Columbia or his 06, so I may have to upgrade a truck or find another company. Come to F2F. We were just talking about that, MacArthur. I'm pretty sure that they'll take your truck.
Now, it may be an issue where like you may have your death thing deleted, and sometimes they don't want you having that
No,
done.
they not. None of these big companies are messing
so
with anybody who has
that could be the
trucks.
issue. But there are people there. Well, like I said, then it could be that grandfather thing, like you mentioned with Landstar. But there are some people there with some really old trucks, like really old. So it could be maybe a death deleted thing or some kind of safety reason as to why they won't take that truck.
So Alaska Hall says, he said, no problem. Won't say anything. You've been there for a little bit. Talk about me recruiting. I haven't started yet, but I'm going to give it till the beginning of the year, and then I'm going to start heavy on it as long as nothing comes up. What dealerships do you recommend other than SFI? I was looking at Lone Mountain sales and even Schneider truck sales. Schneider truck sales is good, and also Lone Mountain is good. I don't really know a lot about Arrow. That would be a Steven question.
Arrow's pretty decent as well,
Yeah.
too.
Arrow was definitely a great experience for me. Like I said, they gave me $4,000 down on my down payment.
Oh, yeah, they do match down payments as well.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to
They
say
do a
as well.
$4,000 match. It's on select trucks, true enough, but it definitely helps a lot. They've been great. When I first got my truck, 3 of my 4 batteries was dead, and they replaced it for free for me. Otherwise, that would have been $900 some for me to do. I called them, and they paid the people right there and then with their credit card. They gave me a headache rack for free, so I didn't even have to buy this headache rack. They just had one laying on their yard at the dealership, and I asked them, could I have it? They were like, yeah. And they put it on for free.
Anything to get that sale, boy.
Right. Anything to get this sale.
They gave me and my when me and my brother went and got the Volvo when I was back at Landstar as a driver the first time. They gave us full tanks. Filled both of them right up.
So got some good comments here. Alaska Hall says the biggest problem is people like Jason promoting some crap company and saying it's a no-brainer. You know, I agree with you.
No-brainer.
Yeah, I agree with you. And just like in every video that I've ever put out, it's more of it's not really that I am recruiting. Don't take it the wrong way, but it's more like it's a personal situation. And that's why I bring people in. I've got 3 different companies here that guys can call in or I say call in, but get on here and ask about. And I bring guys on specifically so they can, talk about their companies and stuff, because some company might not work for the next person and vice versa. I'm watching this guy back in ass backwards into this spot. I don't know why he's doing that. He can go and do it the opposite way. He's going to hit that mirror on that truck. He is so fucking close. Anyway, MacArthur says any companies other than F2F because he has a ticket and they rejected it. That sucks. Yeah, I have an 08, but I'm at F2F. 3 Rigs says. Bone is for the dog, meat is for the man. That's funny. That's funny.
Man, brother.
Steve says he loves BBWs.
I love some baby W.
Mine is EGR. Big titties, fat asses. I don't give a crap to people that promote smaller companies, but mega carriers we all know is crap.
Here's the thing with the with the recruiting stuff. Don't mind it at all. You know, more power to you. There are some guys out here that do recruiting, but they don't keep that money. They actually donate that, which I think is a very noble cause. The problem that I think most of the trucking YouTube community have with the snake oil guys is that they go around company to company to company and they claim that it's the best thing ever. They only tell you good things. They don't tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then let you make the decisions for yourself. It's more of a they're parading themselves more of the type of people who make money off of referrals and don't do the actual driving. And I think that's the reason why the trucking community is so far up their asses about it, is because they're preaching like preachers,
Super ego.
but they're not
Mm.
but they're not performing any miracles. If you get what I'm saying, you know. And anybody that comes out here and promotes super ego is just you just stay far away from those people, man. They're, like I said, it's all a money grab. And again, at the end of the day, more power to you. If you want to make money that way, that's cool. But don't half-ass the people by giving them half the information. You get what I'm saying?
So you smell funny says, at least you're not like those prime YouTubers. You get a YouTube channel, a GoPro, and a lease contract. Yeah, it's funny. You smell funny. I like the majority of the prime YouTubers. I'm subscribed to quite a few. You know, it's funny you say
Me
that.
too.
I've subscribed to quite a few of them too because, you know, and again, you know, not knocking Prime. Prime's a great company. They have their
No, they're
issues,
not.
just like they have their issues like all other companies. But you know, it's the Kool-Aid. And if anybody knows what the Kool-Aid comment come from and where it came from, you know what I'm talking about, the Kool-Aid comment.
Drinking the prime Kool-Aid.
You know where that comment came from? Either one of
No,
you
but
two?
I know
you
it's
guys
I
are
know it
younger than me.
ain't sugar in their Kool-Aid. It's more like Crystal Light.
Do you know, Stephen, where that comment came from?
I have no idea.
Okay. So back in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a preacher. His name was Jim Jones.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The whole
I don't
mass
know.
suicide thing.
Yep. I don't know what city or what state he lived in, but he moved all of his people to Guyana, South America. And he had the Jonestown, South America. He had over 3,000
I know the story.
and they all drank the cyanide in the Kool-Aid, and that's where drinking the Kool-Aid comes from. So when people say that, that's what that means, because they're all following the same occult, kind of like what Jim Jones had. So again, I find it very interesting and educational to hear about the people that are following for the Kool-Aid. And I got a good friend of mine that works there, makes a ton of money with them. He's very lucky. He's got a good dispatcher, and he's like me. He'll run whatever day, hour, whatever he needs to run, and he's very successful at it. He'll tell you he's successful at it too. Man, he watches this show every once in a while. He has no desire to leave or go anywhere else because, and again, you know, he's one of the senior drivers over there. He's been there 3 or 4 years now, and he's got a good situation. Very good situation.
Drank that Kool-Aid so good at Prime, they let them put them them driver facing cameras in their trucks, and they did not bat one eye, man. Every single one of them YouTubers, pretty much most of them, are saying, "Oh, it's for the drivers, it's for your safety, it's all this and all that." I'm like,
it ain't nothing. They don't give a shit about you.
They don't give a damn about that.
It's just like Swift having their trucker appreciation shit. Their trucker appreciation shit is for the people that work in the office, man. You know, all these companies that do that shit has nothing to do with the truck driver. Amen. Tell the truth, no hold back. That's the truth, man. AKA Democrats. You know. So MacArthur says, I should hear back from Mercer tomorrow on their decision. My question is, how is their van freight? Because I have to get a newer truck. I'm thinking of Lone Mountain to get a truck. Thoughts?
In any situation where you have dry van and flatbed at a company, flatbed makes more, period, on average, because of the labor involved. That's not to say dry van rates are bad or suck, but flatbed rates are just always higher. Flatbed has a lot of freight at Mercer. They have more freight than flatbed, which is the weird thing. they have way more freight. Like every now and then I look at the Mercer load board and I just kind of check the drive-in rates. Like if I'm in a flatbed, I may see 5 loads, but they're paying pretty good. Some 2, 3. I've seen some $4 mile loads, but they're like little shorty runs. They're like $120 miles paying $800, which is excellent for a little shorty run. But I've seen drive-in in that same area, you'll see 20 to 30 drive-in loads. But those loads may be paying anywhere from $1.10 a mile up to maybe like $2.15, $2.20. So it varies wildly, honestly. It kind of depends on where you live. Because they don't do conventional drive-in freight. They don't do like perishable goods or like beer loads. Their drive-in freight is it's almost more like Conestoga freight than drive-in freight.
Just specialized stuff, basically.
Yes, because they pull like they have like those what is it called, like those D rings in their trailers.
Mm-hmm.
So they even pull like forklifts and stuff in their drive-in trailers. You have to strap those down inside of the trailer. So they don't do like perishable goods and general freight. But from all accounts, is their drive-in freight it's about 95% drop and hook. You're going to be dropping and hooking. So it's pretty grab and go. So while I can do one flatbed load, you could probably knock out 2 drive-in loads within that one time it took me to do the one. So just kind of depends on where you live at. It can work out excellent for you. Some people do it and they would never dream of doing anything else. If I got too old and tired for flatbed, then I may just stay with Mercer and I may switch to drive-in. But by that time, I would probably have paid off my trailer and I may just sell it, make some money back. But those are my thoughts. But I see a comment where he did say he's in Nashville. Just to answer that real quick, y'all. He do have they have a lot of freight around Nashville area, Nashville, Knoxville, Jackson, Tennessee, Chattanooga. So they have plenty of freight in that area, so you'd be fine doing drive-in. And that's it.
So G80 Sean says, I just find it funny how everyone was like Prime Incorporated, and now they're decided to install Camerons. No one is anywhere to be found. The ones that are been hyping Prime Incorporated to the T. Yeah, since they started doing the cameras, a lot of guys have backed out, and now they're even making negative videos. Drink the Kool-Aid. Trying to work for Prime Incorporated was like trying to find a government job. When you look at company pay benefits, I can see why everyone leases a truck. Irishman says, Jason and Tim are broken down again, but yet they are still promoting that company because according to them, they get paid $250 after 24 hours of breakdown. Irishman, they're getting $250 to cuddle. When I finance my own this summer, I'll more than likely go to Mercer.
Well, bring your butt on then.
So MacArthur says he's in Nashville. Irishman's laughing at you. Smell funny. 18, you keep it real. Too many drinking the drink and putting out videos. Thanks, Mert. What's Mert?
Is that his horn?
I guess so. I guess so.
Well, I didn't know if this was something an old man doesn't understand. Maybe you guys understood it, but I guess not. You're always cracking on the old man. Don't get it. MacArthur said, thank you. Alaska Hall says, 18, do you ever see loads on the Landstar load board going to Alaska? You know, that's
absolutely all the time.
What kind of money do they pay? Because that's one thing that I would love.
Damn good money.
15, 20 grand. They're pretty, like I said, right now they're pretty low for what it is. But in a normal market, that's easily like $25,000, $30,000, $35,000 loads right there all day, every day. And they got people who just do those.
Yep, I used to see them all the time when I worked at Landstar.
Costs a
The
lot.
little-
It costs
they
money
were-
to go up. It costs money to go up there.
right.
So they pay you pretty decent. And the thing about it, going to Alaska, you gotta prep your truck. You gotta carry extra tires. You gotta carry extra fuel. You gotta carry a whole bunch of extra stuff with you because once you get up into Canada, into them straits, and between then and there, it's what thousands of miles before you see another truck stop or see anybody or see anything. So they do pay pretty decent.
You get pretty much like hazard pay for going up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
And if you're going with a dry van, good luck getting the load back out. You want to go up there with a reefer, at least you'll get some fish and you can bring some fish back.
Yep. Driving, you're gonna be dead heading to like Washington.
You know, I heard that it takes longer to drive from like Seattle, Washington to Alaska than it takes to drive from Miami, Florida to Seattle. Imagine that.
Like I said, you're in the middle of nowhere, and you're gonna be off road a lot too, going to Alaska.
So there used to be a guy on here. His name was Trainer James, and he used to videotape all his runs up to Alaska. He used to do it quite a bit. I haven't seen him in a while, and last time that I looked, he took his shit down. It's been a few years ago. So James G says, who is Jason and Tim? Jason and Tim are Freight Cat LLC.
Just go watch Codename Narcs videos. That's all I can say.
Just go watch Codename Narcs videos. You'll see them. Count Me Trucking. I live in Kentucky. They have more flatbed freight around my house than CRST.
Yeah, he's talking about Mercer because, I mean, you know, Mercer's based out of Louisville, so
Right.
They definitely have a strong presence in Kentucky.
So you smell funny. When you guys pay off your trucks, are you going to keep them until they break or replace them?
Damn straight. I'm trying to make some money, not spend money.
Yeah. I think keeping them is the way to go.
And when it breaks down, I got the money, I might be looking into the late model Volvos. That's always been a truck that I've always wanted. The one before they just did this refresh, I've always wanted one of those. The new ones, man, they're too small.
You're going to be
The
white
interior
Volvo
looks-
Mafia, huh?
Nah,
Buddy,
it's gonna be a different color other than a white truck.
Buddy, the new ones are bigger than the old ones, brother. They got more
they're,
interior space.
they're skinnier. They don't have the
There's
same.
more.
They
Look 'em
don't
up.
have the same interior because you know the refrigerator that you get in the current Volvo is a whole lot bigger than the one that you get in the new ones.
I'm not saying that, but
Cabinet space and everything is
the
smaller.
okay. I'm not going to argue with you. Summertime. Step flat, I heard, is really good at Landstar. You can believe whatever you want to. Got to keep in mind it's usually round trip rates. So with that
Yeah,
being
for
said,
Alaska,
it don't
yeah.
matter. It don't matter if you do drive in or not. So if you're getting round trip rates. I used to bring fish, salmon back every summer. I don't live in Alaska. I moved to South Carolina from Washington. I ran to Alaska for 6 years from Seattle. Interesting. Also, Trucking Alert trosts Tim and his boyfriend. Yeah, I just found out about Trucking Alert. I'm gonna have to watch them.
Hey, he took a clip out of one of our videos, an old 8-minute long video, and posted it on his channel.
So
I guess that's the part where when we had Todd on the show with us.
yeah, you smell funny. Says great. So now 18 is gonna be blocking the fuel line with the Volvo.
I do my 30 minutes in the fuel. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I'm
I'm
very good at how I get that done.
I'm going to keep one of my older trucks and sell or trade one for the new one. I got to tell you the truth, man. That new Volvo has me really thinking hard if SFI gets one, or if I can come up with a down payment at Lone Mountain to get one. I might really seriously look into it.
Yeah, 18,000. That's all you need, man. That's 18 weeks. Put $1,000 away for 18
Yep.
weeks. You'll be straight.
Yep. Volvos don't need fuel. They run on unicorn farts and dreams. Yep. Unicorn farts and dreams. It's so funny.
Where's my truck?
I've always loved the current model design. You know, it's a pretty sharp truck in my opinion. But I wouldn't I wouldn't necessarily like lease one or do anything. Like I'll wait and actually buy one out as a second truck. Definitely. I love
Just
the
hope-
interior space because I love it just has the standard tables and all that stuff back there. It's great for content creation. You can build your own little studio back
Just
there.
just don't let the headlights go out, man. They're about $3,000 a piece, man. They're expensive headlights, dude.
Yeah, they're just as much as the new Freightliners headlights. Yeah.
But they go out quite a bit on the Volvos. Y'all seen them Edison motor trucks? I don't know what they
I
are.
watched their channel. Yeah, I think it's pretty decent, man. The truck's pretty decent.
So MacArthur agrees with me. He likes the new Volvo interior. Volvo cars look really nice. Only issues with the trucks is their hood latch used to be under the steering wheel, and it broke several times when I drove one. Yeah, that's I never had one break, but it did feel very delicate every time I would open the hood. With the good thing out of that, though, is nobody fucks around with your engine or anything when you're stopped because it's the only truck that actually has a latch.
It's the greatest safety feature I've ever seen on a truck. I don't know why other trucks don't follow along and do that.
And it has airbag. It has airbag in the steering wheel too. It's the only truck that does.
Yeah, the new ones do. I'm not gonna lie, the suspension setup. I like the setup and everything on the new Volvo trucks.
Well, the old Volvo trucks have them too. They've always had an airbag because the one I had an airbag from Swift. Ever since 2011, I believe was the first year that they started doing airbags. It's the only truck that has
I
one.
think you are right because I did have a 2018 last model with the ugly face, and I think it did have that as well too.
What was that again? I was what? Right?
You trying to milk it?
That fucking hurts you to say that. I'm looking up this Edison motor trucks. I've never seen it.
Yeah, watch some of their videos. A bunch of these two Canadian dudes are building an electric truck for logging, I believe. It's more for logging than
Oh yeah, I'm looking at them right now. What an interesting looking truck! It looks like an old. Honestly, it looks like an old Marmon. Is what it looks like.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what it looks like. Either an
They
old
put
Marmon
Chinese
or old,
motors in that truck though.
old Diamond Rio. Oh, you know what? They also do Super Duty Fords too. I'm looking at that also. They convert the Super Duties over. Wow, they've converted older trucks too. Here's an old Kenworth.
When you're done, please go to the next comment because I got a mouthful to say about this.
1962 Kenworth, man. It's got the motor. So you smell funny?
Mm-hmm.
What's your opinion on battery kill switch being on the back of the cab? LOL.
The most stupidest thing that they could ever do. That makes
What's he talking about?
no sense whatsoever. SFI trucks have the battery kill switches on the Freightliner. I don't know about the Internationals.
No,
the
mine's
Freightliners have them on
seat.
They have them right there on the back outside of the truck. So
what the fuck's that all about?
Let somebody you don't like come and just be like, hey, switch your shit off while you're in your damn
I'm glad
truck,
you told me that. So when I see somebody, that's exactly what I'm going to fucking do.
Right there while you're in the fuel aisle taking a shower.
Yeah, that's exactly. Or they're taking their 30-minute break.
The fuel aisle.
Yeah, mine is
cut the truck back.
Mine is right there where the fire extinguisher is by the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's outside, which makes no fucking sense to me.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Thanks for answering my questions. Got to hit the hay. Headed to Columbus at 3. Good night, MacArthur. Count me trucking. It's real work. By God, they're running Scania engines again.
Scania engines. That's the new Internationals have the S13 engine, which is basically a Scania engine and transmission and rear ends. Basically, it's a whole Scania truck.
Pulling. What's he talking about? It's the new fifth wheel pulling.
He's talking about cutting off the battery disconnect on the Freightliners.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, because people can swipe the fifth wheel release. Well, guys, we're over 3 hours, man. I think it's about time we jump off here.
Yeah,
I'm
hungry again, so I'm gonna go eat me some
I
chicken.
am too, man. I'm gonna go in here and go get some.
I don't want to go eat no more chips again and start hallucinating fireworks and shit. So.
I think
hey, do the fireworks like again, man.
I think you was going like this or whatever, and the whole thing like. Hey, Try it again. Do this and see if it all pops up again. Cause that's what you
Nah.
were doing.
Because I thought I dropped acid or something. I didn't know what the hell was happening.
I thought you dropped acid or something, or maybe me too.
Oh man, this shit was fucking hilarious, man.
That
Hey
threw
man,
me
it
off.
was a good show tonight. It was good.
Good night, Alaska.
So, good night, everybody, and
We're
we'll
always
see
glad
you
you guys
guys
show
next
up.
week.
Yeah.
And any of these guys y'all watching, if y'all ain't subscribed already, subscribe. Do that.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. And this is what I want to tell you, 18, and you need to do it in your videos. And I'm going to tell everybody, all these guys' videos, all three of us, go in. When you watch our videos, like them and subscribe. You had over 300 views on your video, okay? Actually, you had more than that. You had like 600 views on your videos with like, 250 subscribers, whatever your subscribers are. You had twice as many people watching your shit, but they weren't subscribed to you. Make sure your people subscribe. All you guys need to subscribe to all three of us. Subscribe and like our videos, please. Let me read these last few comments and we'll jump off here. Good night, guys. Be safe out there, Irishman. Everybody's just saying good night. James G said he enjoyed the show. Stay safe.
Those 18.
And does 18 Wheel do videos? we'll end with that one, guys. Y'all have a good night.
How
Thanks
about
for
you
coming.
subscribe? How about you subscribe some more, and then the higher my count goes, the more videos I probably can make. I'm just saying on leap years.
Oh, Keith made a comment here. Only on leap years.
Damn.
Hey,
Good
Steve,
night,
thanks
guys.
for joining us tonight. Like I said, you can be a permanent guy if you want to. It's all up to you, brother. You just let me know, and we'll.
I ain't got
keep
no
rolling
life.
out. Huh?
So I ain't got no life anyway. Sure.
We'll keep
His life
rolling
is
out
on
Sunday
18
night
wheels,
videos,
man.
Shiny side up too, buddy.
All right, guys, have a good night.
All right. Y'all have a good night, man. Talk to you
All right.
guys.